Hi, this is Alicia Slobodanyuk, and I created this video to discuss a project I led in 2019 for Vora Wound Physicians. So Vora is the largest network of wound care physicians in the US, and they approached the agency where I was working because they had recently launched a new website but found that it was not really performing, and they weren't quite sure why. So, as web professionals, it was pretty easy for our team to see that the website they had created was done by an overseas firm with probably a limited understanding of US standards for design, content, and overall site structure. Indeed, the website was pretty confusing to navigate and it didn't seem to follow any particular strategy. So, as the appointed project manager, I started the project by simply charting out the necessary milestones into a Gantt chart. And they had a very strict timeline of 12 weeks that we were contractually obligated to meet. So I needed to be sure that I could secure internal resources from the start. So this chart represents each milestone seen here on the left, and it's organized on a week by week basis to help communicate to the client what to expect and when. This also helps them to understand how delayed feedback and approval pushes the entire timeline since we can't move on to the next phase of the project until we've achieved each milestone. So the first step in this project was to perform business analysis to better understand their business model, their revenue streams, and their customer profiles, because this was going to inform the site architecture. This, of course, alongside of their immediate and long-term goals. So based on this information and based on the content on their existing website, I was able to define, here we go, what's called user journeys. And so this means that there are basically three types of users or, just people who come to the website. In this case, we have a clinician, a skilled nursing facility, or just a nurse. And we ended up adding a fourth person to this set of users, which is the patient. And each user, has specific tasks that they're trying to accomplish by visiting the website. For example, clinicians. They're either seeking employment or if they are currently employed by Vora, they're seeking to order supplies using Vora's dressing dispensing program. So following this step comes my favorite part, which is building out the overall site structure. And given that there were approximately 10,000 words across dozens of pages on the website, finding a meaningful way to organize this information into these respective user journeys did not come easy. So I started the old-fashioned way, with flashcards. Once I had a structure that started to take shape, I did flesh it out, and finally I came to a digital version, which is, of course, what I presented to the client alongside a content strategy. So this content strategy is a, direct mirror of the site structure. So for example, career physicians, and we have careers physicians. So here it says that the physicians page is essentially going to contain 5 sections. So what we do, where we work, apply, what we look for, and get Vora certified. And then underneath each, it tells you, what's going to be in there. Elevator pitch and writing, approximately 200 words, carefully selected words describing the company, and so on. And we do have some notes on SEO, for example, what sections need to be H1s and H2s so that they're properly crawled by search engines. So upon revision and approval of this content strategy, this document is then given to a web designer, and she uses this as instructions on what she is going to design. So now we get to the design stage of the project where I essentially mock up what I think might work for the project, or what I envision for a particular page. So of course, the designer always comes back with something that is just way better, and really just knocks my socks off. And so what she put together is here in this tool called Envision. And I'll take you to the home page. Oops. So the great thing about Envision is that this image here is, hosted in a way where it kind of gives you a website experience, and you can map certain parts of the images to really make it feel like a website. For example, anything that highlights in blue is something you can click. So we'll click on physicians. So in Physicians, once again, you click, you can start going through, all the different tabs that are present on the page. This one has a jobs engine, and so, you can select your state, city, and your specialty, and it'll, pop up available positions at Vora. And during this stage, the content that we will need from the client becomes very clear. So in this case, I believe that the website would be most effective if we could produce two videos. One to serve as a recruitment video for wound physicians, which was Vora's expressed immediate and most pressing goal. To be clear, they wanted to hire more doctors. And another would be a commercial to attract more clients, which were the skilled nursing facilities. So I wrote commercials for them. And while I'm not a professional scriptwriter, my skills and experience in advertising were sufficient to put together some great scripts and storyboards for this client. And I believe that it succinctly captured the message that they wanted to get across. So with approvals on the scripts and the storyboards, I coordinated with one of their doctors, uh, and of course a skilled nursing facility so we can shoot on location, and even with the family of a patient so that we can incorporate them in some b-roll during our full day shoot. So here's a clip that I took on my cell phone. And that's the videographer, filming our talent on that day. So I included some links to the actual commercials in the description of this video, but I will play just a small clip here. All right, go ahead and stop that there. And I'll play just a small clip of this one. So once the content and the designs were finalized, the website went into development where our agency's software architect took lead on some of the more technical integrations that needed to be completed. So after the website went into our QA/testing department and the debugging was complete, it was time for launch. And so thankfully, we finished the project on time and even received, a gift basket and a congratulatory note, from our client, letting us know that we did a very nice job. So that wraps up this project on the redesign and redevelopment of war wound physicians. So I thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that it demonstrated a bit about my experience with project management and digital asset creation. Thanks.